Today it's the first day of Elul, so Chodesh Tov to everyone. And we're entering a very special month. Yesterday and today we had special prayers in the shul, and because of this, we actually decided to do our weekly lesson a few days earlier. Usually we do it on Wednesdays, but this week we do it Monday because today's lesson is directly connected to this month. Great. So
it's not on Wednesday?
Today?
No, so on Wednesday it's not?
This week we don't have Wednesday. This week only Monday. Yes. I mean, from my point of view, every day I can give a lesson, but I'm not sure the community is ready for that yet. Hopefully. Slowly but surely we'll get there as well, right? Good. So there are many explanations and reasons why this month is so important and so special. Probably you heard over the years so many times how important this month is and how significant it is that it's like, okay, another Elul and another Elul and another lesson about it. What can you tell me that I didn't know? What can you tell me that nobody else told me? One of the reasons why this month is so important is because it's the last month before Rosh Hashanah. And even though that today we are not going to talk about Rosh Hashanah, it's not our theme today, we will need few words about this holiday in order to start understanding this month. And this is what we're going to start with. What is Rosh Hashanah? And please don't tell me it's the Jewish New Year, because it's not. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but if somebody told you Rosh Hashanah it's the Jewish New Year, they lied to you, or they simply didn't know themselves. Because it's not a new year. Well, it is in certain aspects. It's one of 4 new years that we have during the year, different aspects from the Torah. We start to count in different times of the year. Rosh Hashanah, which is the head of the year, because Rosh it's head, Shana it's year, the head of the year. So it's the first day of Tishrei, the month of Tishrei. It's actually in the Torah, it's the 7th month, not the first one, but it's also the birthday or day of creation of Adam and Eve, which never were Jews or Hebrew or Israelites, right? Meaning Rosh Hashanah is something that by essence touch all humanity. So we need to understand a little bit better Rosh Hashanah in order to understand the month before it. So Rosh Hashanah, we know, as the Torah tells us and the sages explain to us, it's day of judgment, right? We're standing in front of heavenly court and getting judged by how we used our resources and what we have been given. The same way as, well, for example, you go to the bank or to investor and ask for money, ask to invest in you or in your business. What the investor going to do, first of all, to look at your finances. How did you act previously? Did you act accordingly? Are you a good investment or not? And even if I wasn't a good investment so far, did I put an effort? Did I close my debt? Am I accountable to my words, to my action, or not? And if to use a different analogy, when you have a very important meeting, do you need to prepare yourself, or can you just come into an important meeting? At work, when you're in your studies, do you need to prepare? Depends. In a very important meeting, you go to talk with the investor, with the dean in the university. You're going to a very important interview that you work so hard for, the company will even consider you. You're coming prepared or not? Of course, yes. So if I'm coming to Rosh Hashanah, it's a process that it's not the IRS that coming to check your books. It's much more than that. Should you come prepared? Therefore, the month of Elul is so important. Because this is the month to prepare. To prepare yourself to Rosh Hashanah. If so, I have for you a very hard question. Why only 1 month? Don't you need to be always prepared? Is it okay? So you have now a show, you have now an important meeting, you have a concord, whatever it is. And they say, oh yeah, we'll take 2 weeks and I will get ready. It's enough? Is it enough to take few weeks to get in shape? Not really. Is it enough to take few weeks in order to become a master in any knowledge? Not really. So why suddenly we say, oh yeah, take the month of Elul, 1 month is enough to be ready for Rosh Hashanah. How come? Why we don't talk about Rosh Hashanah the whole year? It says about the sages that the moment Shabbat ended, they already start to prepare for the next Shabbat. So Motzei Shabbat, they already start to prepare themselves spiritually and by matter also for the next Shabbat. So why don't we? Well, Rosh Hashanah ended. Let's start to work for next to the next Rosh Hashanah. How come we act in such a way that it will be okay? And then the last month of the year comes. Oh my God! I need to do something. I need to take myself. I need to put myself in order. I need to change. I need to transform. Why now? In Hebrew they say, Boker Tov Eliyahu. Good morning. You woke up. It's a little bit late, no? So here I would like to share with you, to start with a short lesson, part of a lesson of my teacher, of Rav Uri Sherki. Zoom asking me in what language I speak, and then he put German. So he doesn't get it. It's probably the mix between Russian and English sounds like German. That's very funny. Okay. Anyhow, he's saying about that there are time for Teshuva. What is Teshuva? Time for Teshuva. What is Teshuva? We hear about when in Israel somebody become religious or become more religious, more observant. They say he did chazara b'teshuva. He came back in Teshuva. What is a Teshuva? Teshuva literally in Hebrew is answer. Right? When I'm asking the questions in order to find the answers, and when I find the answer, I do Teshuva. Meaning, in other words, it's also to come back. From the word lashuv in Hebrew, to come back, I want to come back to God. And there are times in our life when inside of us, suddenly we have the tendency, the desire, the thought about, I want to return home. I want to return to my friends, to my family, to those things that I left behind. I want to come back to God. It's not a thing that happens all the time. Therefore, not every day is a Yom Kippur. Not every month is the month of Elul. So we see that the end of process, usually it's the time where our soul is awakened to ask questions. For example, in the end of the day. So before we go to sleep, I hope that after the last lesson we had about dreams, we all start to practice Shema on the bed, Kriyat Shema al Hamita. And part of this prayer that is connected to how we go to sleep and about our soul elevating in the right way, getting out of our body, but also coming back in the morning, and so on. Part of this prayer, it's about being accountable to my previous day, to have some reflection about what day I had. Because to live throughout the day and every 5 minutes, what happened? To be neurotic, it's not what I want. I cannot live this way. a neurotic person need help from a psychiatrist, right? Because you cannot live this way. But once a day, in the end of the day, before you go to sleep, to take some time for self-reflection, ask the questions, getting the understanding of what could I do better in order to have better choices the next day. It's an important thing. And this is when I actually have the gift. I have the assistance from God to be awakened to ask the right questions and find the answers. So is the end of the week. So before Shabbat, we see many sages, we see it also in the Mishnah, many sages used in the Chassidut, Friday, before entering Shabbat, because we know how Shabbat is important, how powerful is the time of the week. Before Shabbat, how was my week? To understand where were my mistakes, what should I do differently, and so on, to get into Shabbat in the right mindset. So is the last day of the month. Erev Rosh Chodesh, the eve of the new month, of the new moon, it's also considered to be like a mini Yom Kippur, a small Yom Kippur. In Hebrew, it's Yom Kippur Katan. So, for example, yesterday and today, it's the new moon of Elul. So Shabbat was the eve of the new moon. Not a coincidence why we spoke about that all the Shabbat. About accountability and responsibility and changing and so on. So also to do some digging. And of course in the end of the year. So in the end of the year, it's the month of Elul. A year from the point of view of Rosh Hashanah, before the day of judgment, I'm taking the last month of the year, right? Because day is the last part of the day, the week is the last part of the week, right? So it's Friday. If it's the month it's the last day of the month, and if it's a year, it's the last month of the year, which is this month. There is a special tendency in our soul to be awakened. There is a support from God if we will choose this path. We see it that in different mystical practices, people are letting go of the physical world. It's better to die if it helps me to become one with the universe, one with the endless, one with God. The Torah teaches the opposite. I want to be one with God. I want to go up in order to gather life and bring life back here. And therefore, we need to awaken ourselves for the questions, and then when we get the answer, we can take life and manifest it here. Even nature is helping us with it. Because at what time of the year Rosh Hashanah happens? Autumn. When? What happens in nature? It falls asleep or it dies, right? Which it's all about awakening myself for questions. Why I'm living? What is life all about? What's the meaning of life? And this is the gift of the month of Elul. There is the story about the high priest, Kohen Gadol, that entering once a year to the Holy of Holies. The day of Yom Kippur, he cleansed himself, going in the name of all Israel and maybe even all humanity. And it says, we see it in the songs and the prayers of Yom Kippur, that it says, what a great moment it was, or what great was the high priest as he getting out back to the people from the Holy of Holies. But it's weird. It's supposed to be what a great moment as he entering the Holy of Holies once a year. Why is it great moment when he come back? Moreover, the sage is telling us that they used to tie a robe around the leg of the high priest. So some would explain it's because many high priests, they didn't deserve. They weren't holy enough to be there, so they fall dead and you need to take them out. But the Zohar is telling something else. The Zohar in the portion of Emor is telling us that the robe was in order for the holy priest, the high priest, not to forget to come back, because it's such a mystical moment. But the idea of this mystical moment is to take life back to the living and not to get out of this life. So the robe was to make sure he come back, and therefore it's a great moment when he comes back to life, with life. So Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are great times, but they are great times only if we use them to bring more life into this world. And in order to do that successfully, we need to prepare ourselves. And this is the month of Elul. So right now, there is a moment in time, there is a window in time that opens for us, and it's up to us to use it. The train came into 9 3/4 station. It's up to us to get on it. And this time is now. Elul. How many of us went through a month of Elul again and again and again? How many of us tried to change ourselves but didn't make it? A question. Did anyone here try to change some traits within with no success? Of course. As it says, the easiest thing is to stop smoking. You can stop smoking every day. The problem is that you continue to do it the next day, right? What do I do with that? How many times we started a diet, or we started a sport, or we started a new relation? No, that's it. From this week, I'm going to change. I'm going, or from this week, I will come back to write poems and give flowers and pay taxes, right? And then I don't. So if it's so hard, what does God want from me? I hope that you ask God this question. It's an important question. God, what do you want from me? As the song of Hanan Ben Ari, Ma ta rotze mimeni? What do you want from me? Why did you give a soul to this body? It's so hard to change. So what do you want from me? And the answer is actually, we can find the answer also in the writings of Edmund Burke. Did you heard about Edmund Burke? Yeah, in the end of the lesson, we'll talk about it. God wants from us to move. Small movement. One step. Not to get stuck. So there is a story in New York, one of those high buildings. Every year, people come for a race. Getting up in the stairs, and the one that will get to the 100th floor going to win a big sum amount of money. Great. But every floor, it's like 3 floors of hours. It's like it's a serious workout. For many years, they try, and somebody get to the 15th floor and the 20th floor, and somebody got to the 30th floor and is looking down. Wow, how much I did looking up. There's no chance giving up. For many years. After many years, suddenly, one managed to get to the 50th, to floor number 50. So he gets his head of the window. He see all the people are like ants, small ants, and he yells, I won! So they ask him, how did you win? You just did half of the way. He said, yes, but on the 50th floor, apparently there's an elevator. Elul, it's this elevator for each and every one of us. So there is a story about a man. God comes to him, tell him, listen, let's do a deal. I'm giving you all the best. You're going to get the best house, the best wife, you will have the best kids, the best food, everything, the whole shebang. One thing, there is a big stone that blocking the door of your house. you need to push it every day. Correct? Where do I sign? Right? And so it begins. And in the first days, months, maybe in the first year, this man, every moment he had free, he opened his door, he see this stone, and he push it, and he push, and he tried to bring different tools and so on, till the body hurts, till the soul hurts. I mean, the only time he doesn't push it is on Shabbos. But with the years, babies come and then they grow, and eventually you do it only once a week, and then only once a month, and then not at all. He doesn't even open the door to see if the stone is there or not. And after 120 years, he dies, he goes to the heavens, and God tells him, listen, you're in a big trouble, my man. We had a contract. You didn't do your part. So the man, he said, what? Of course I did. I tried my best. Whatever I did, the stone never moved, even an inch. And God tells, but I didn't tell you to move the stone. Your job was to push it. In Mishnah, in Avot, it says, Lo alecha melacha ligmor. It's not up to you to change the world. It's not up to you. It's not on your shoulders to correct this world. But then it continues, but what it is in your power, you're not allowed not to do. You cannot ignore what is in your power. So you try to do a thing. I really appreciate the work of Jordan Peterson, and I highly recommend to read him, even that is. I really hope that someday we will find Judaism, because then he will have much more happiness in his life, and much more optimism in his life. His vision is very Christian, but I really appreciate his work. I study a lot of his work, and I highly recommend to read him and to hear him. So he said something that we see also in our sages say. You want to do big things, great. Did you make your bed? Is your apartment in order? Your building, do you have good connection and relations with your neighbors before you go to correct the world? Right? Because, my life is such a mess, I will fix the world. It doesn't work this way. We need to put our own affairs in order. Our success is never relative to others. It's only relative to ourselves. Only to look at myself, me, myself, and God. That's it. Every time I have a question, it's or everything or nothing, I'm in the wrong direction. In my previous community, so one person came to me and said, but you're the rabbi, you do everything, and I'm already old, I'm so far, so what's the point to start? There's no more wrong belief than what the person said. We're working on it, and so slowly but surely, step after step, he's doing more and more, and it's great. Or there was a young guy, a successful businessman, and he tells me, listen, I like you, I like what you do here in the community, but now job, family, and so on, I will retire and then I will come to you even every day. Mm-hmm. I asked him, how do you know that I'm going to be there? As a fact, I'm not there anymore, right? Only once in a while. Who said that that you were going to wake up tomorrow? So there is a story about a king that wanted to conquer a land, and doesn't matter what he tried, he couldn't succeed. So he said the following: the one who will give me a strategy that will win the war for me, I guarantee him or her 60 minutes, a whole hour, in my vault, with all the treasures that me and my fathers and collected throughout the generations. Eventually came to him a great warrior, give him the right way to win, and the king wins. But now the king is a catch-22, because you know catch-22, I hope. I hope you read this book, even though it's not a Torah book, but it's a good one. So he's in catch-22. Why? Because in one hand, he has to hold his promise to that man. On the other hand, in this treasury, in this vault, there are secret things, there is important things with such a big significance. He cannot allow to take the risk that that person will take or see the secrets and take all those things. 1 hour is a lot of time. But the king is smart, and he done his homework. And he found out that that man, that hero, have two big secrets or two big flaws. Weakness. You have a huge weakness to specific music that he cannot. I mean, this is he will do whatever it is, whatever it takes to hear. If it's a good music, and special food. The person understands food. He's a foodie. So the king, there are a few chambers before you get into the vault. So the first chamber, he put the best chefs. Michelin is a kids' party. Consider what the king opened there for that man. And the person gets in and the smell, and you see, and wow. 1 hour, it's a lot of time. So I will take a bite or two. What matter? After 10 minutes, what happened? What happened? Oh, I had only 15 minutes. He start to go, and then a new set of foods open before, and another table, and suddenly, oh, it's already 25 minutes past. 35 minutes. Okay, I still can make it. He runs. It's so hard for him. He runs through this chamber to the next one, and the musicians start to play. And I can't breathe. It's so beautiful. The concert is unbelievable. And after 10 minutes, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you so much, but I need to run. And start to run. And then another musician start to play another piece of music. And wow! But time goes by. And suddenly he realized, oh, I don't have any time, any moment now. My hour going to end. He runs. He sees the treasure from far. And the door is closing. Sorry, you missed your 1 hour. This is our Yetzer Hara. This is our evil inclination that's playing games with us.
So tempting,
yeah, seduction, right? So our evil inclination seduce. Our evil inclination seduce us in so many ways. It creates so many distractions. What do? The sage is saying that every habit that I have become a second nature. How many bad habits become a nature? How many times I failed, and I know I failed. So what the chances of me actually correcting it or changing myself? What the chances will be? I stop to believe in myself because I have a bad experience with myself. So what do? How do I change? I think those questions and becoming aware to those questions is very important as the first step for us using wisely Elul and getting wisely ready for Rosh Hashanah. Because all those questions, it's what our evil inclination, what our Yetzer Hara is trying to make us believe in. We don't need to change the world. It's not up to us. God is waiting for us for one little step, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. So this week, as every year, the first Shabbat of the month of Elul, we read the portion of Shoftim. In the portion of Shoftim v'Shotrim, also we read about the Ir Miklat, city of refugee. What does it mean? A man or woman that killed by mistake. They didn't want to kill, They didn't even want to attack. They don't have any relations with that man or woman that was killed. So there's no hatred or any envy or any bad feelings between them. A real accident. They're supposed to die. They're supposed to get punished. But there is a possibility that if they do it quickly enough, in a period of time, they can run to a refugee, not camp, but a refugee city. And then inside the city, nobody allowed to touch them. It's called Ir Miklat. Rabbi Chaim Vital in Pri Etz Chaim, where it talks about Rosh Hashanah, connecting Elul, this month, the month of Elul, he said Elul, if we break the letters Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, Elul, it's the words from the Torah, Inal leyado v'samti lach. It's part of the pasuk, of the saying from the Torah that talking about those refugee cities. So Elul as a time and a place are place of refugee for us. What is it? You have a time that in it you can get into this refugee city, but you also need to be in a physical place, right? So in that sense, Elul, it's the time. It's a time where this refugee place is accessible for me. And as of space, it's getting out of the places that usually in them I'm falling. So for example, a person that didn't drink is out of AA, he didn't drink for 20 years. It doesn't mean that after 20 years that he didn't drink, and he's already himself is a sponsor in the AA, it doesn't mean that now he can go to a bar and sit with friends. Oh, I'm not going to sit just to be in a bar. Why? You don't go to the place that connected to your falls. You don't do it to yourself, right? So especially in Elul, you go to the refugee city, which is the synagogue, which is the house of study, classes, the places where you are needed as a volunteer, as an expert, where you add values. You go more to those places, especially in the month of Elul. We add more and more tefillah, tshuva, and tzedakah. Tefillah, prayer, teshuva, getting back to God, study of Torah, tzedakah, which means to give, to share, volunteering, charity, and so on. Moreover, we have 30 days of Elul, of the month of Elul, that started today, plus 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Altogether, it's 40 days. I saw it with some coaches and psychologists that they say that anything that you try to do for 40 days, it becomes a habit, and the habit becomes a nature. So it's not about changing the world or changing myself completely, but starting today, start to create a new positive habit. One step at a time. Because starting today, getting to Yom Kippur, that's it. It will be part of your nature. So start. This is the time. It's those small things that change it all. So today start. So you pray once a week, pray twice a week. You coming only Friday night, come Friday night and Saturday morning. You coming only to one lesson and you barely stand this Rabbi Shimon that talks and talks twice a week now. You open to study a book once a week, twice a week, 10 minutes, make it 15. You give €5 to the charity, give 10. You're volunteering for half an hour, volunteer for 45 minutes now. Spend more time with your spouse, with your kids, with your parents. Something. Do something now so in 40 days it becomes your nature. You never know what small change can create eventually. Small changes will change the world. 2 main books of halakha, of Jewish law, starting with quoting Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkenus. The Mishnah is starting with his halakha about the time of prayer, And the Tur, the book of the Tur, when he talks about Rosh Hashanah, he gives few reasons why we blow the shofar in the month of Elul. But the first reason, he brings from a midrash, from Agadah, from a legend that connected to Rabbi Eliezer of Hyrcanus, that first time when Moses came to get the tablets, so the nation of Israel lost track of time, and they thought that he died, and therefore they created the golden calf, and so on and so forth. And then Moses come and break the first tablets, going up again to pray for mercy for the nation of Israel, coming back, and then he goes up the third time. What day was the third time he went up on the Mount of Sinai? Today, the first day of Elul. When he will come back with the second tablets? On Yom Kippur, 40 days after. And every day they blow the shofar to remind themselves how many days passed, so they will not fall again to depression to build again, God forbid, a golden calf. But it's a legend, it's Agadah, it's a midrash. Why a book of halacha, why a book of law starts with it? And one of the ideas is that both those books started with Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus. It's because Hyrcanus was a very rich man and had a few kids, and one of them is Eliezer. And Eliezer, at some point in his life, late in his life, he was already 28 years old, he started to cry, I want to study Torah. His father said, you? Now? You are 28 years old, you don't know how to read and how to write. Shut up and work. We need to work the land and so on. But for all year, he get to depressed. I want to study Torah. It's so painful for me. This is what I want. I want to change my life. But a few thousand years ago, who changed his life when he's 28 years old? Nobody, right?
I'm not feeling it anymore.
It's not today that, so what to do? And eventually his father said, okay, if you have any chance, it's only if the biggest sage of our generation, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, will accept you. The biggest sage will accept an alphabet, the person who does not even know the letters. He goes to him and accepts him. But he was from a very rich house, but now that he's not part of his home, he doesn't have any money, even for food. So for a while, to relax his hunger, he used to take dirt and chew dirt to feel as he eats. And eventually it became very smelly. Sorry for the details, right? So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is feeling the smell. He understands what's going on. And he tells him, I know what's going on. I feel the smell. I understand the pain and the desire. And I wish you that the same way that I feel the bad smell, so all the nation of Israel will feel the amazing smell of your openings in the Torah. Because your huge desire and how much pain you have that pushes you to move. So for us, of course, it's an amazing example of change your life. Doesn't matter at what time. There's not such a thing too late. But also, as another idea of how to get a new motivation or an extra motivation with our steps that we are starting today, use your pain. What you're painful of. What is painful for you? Use the pain as a motivation, not as something that blocks you. By the way, my previous community that I created, that I built, our first bar mitzvah was a very young man. He was 83 years old. It was the first time he came to the Torah and said the blessings. And the time changed his life. The community and Torah changed his life in so many ways. I'm still in touch with him till this day. We call each other once in a while. So especially tonight, take you one step. Summarize for yourselves today's lesson and take one step. With prayer, with Teshuva back to God, with study to the Torah, with caring and sharing, with charity. It says that our evil inclination loves the big changes. Mm-hmm. Our good inclination loves small changes. Mm-hmm. Edmund Burke, if you don't know who it is, you have a great homework to do, and I'm jealous of you that for the first time you're going to read his writings. So he's in England. He lives in the time of the French Revolution, and he said it's going to be horrible. Why? Because revolutions like this never works. It will bring just more destruction. There's evolution that you need to go through, step after step after step. Funny story that I heard. There is one rabbi that he shared. One of his small kids was sick, so they went to the hospital, and for a while didn't have what to do, and suddenly he saw a scale. So he stood up on the scale, and he realized that he's 15 kilograms extra than he thought, which is quite a lot. So he comes to his wife, what can I do? I will never survive a diet. I'm working the whole day, I'm coming hungry at home at night. What I will do? So his wife told him, stop to say the blessing, Borei Minei Mezonot. Stop to say blessing on wheat product. Bread, yes. Fruits, chocolate, yes. This one thing, one bracha, Borei Minei Mezonot, on the burekas, stop say. All the rest of the blessing you say. And he took it as a one step, and it works for him. I'm not sure he lost the whole 15 kilos, but at least he didn't gain extra on those 15, right? It's those small steps between now and Rosh Hashanah, between now and Yom Kippur. We're talking about Teshuva, getting back to God, which start with repentance and actually admitting what I did wrong. So I'm not going to a confession, but I do need to confess to myself and to God to be accountable to my actions, to my words, and then realize I don't want to do that anymore. I want to change. This means to repent. And then I take up on myself, okay, let me try to do otherwise. It's this one step forward. It can be something with my relationships, with my spouse, with my kids, with my parents, with my friends, between me and God, with my study of the Torah, with my prayer, with my charity. In those moments where I can give and do more, but I'm too stingy to do that. And then we're going for a sure win, especially now. Because for everything in this world, there is time and place. Time and place of changing ourselves, and therefore changing the world and the universe, starting today in Rosh Chodesh. Thank you so much for being with me this evening. Chodesh Tov, everybody, and good luck to all of us. Questions? You didn't hear, вы не слышали, но здесь в комнате кто-то просто так, ой. Okay.
I have a question. So is Mistis months? What does it mean in Russian? Mistis? Months?
Diese Diphthongs hat nur ein Zeichen, nur einen Buchstaben. Ja.
Okay, guys, it's not all about us. Ciao, друзья. Пока-пока. До свидания.
Спасибо, прекрасно. Очень
Среда тоже будет?
Нет. Я хоть каждый день, но мне сказали, что вы не выдержите.